What is up, and welcome in to the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I'm your host, Ezra McCann, and I'm joined, as always, by my outstanding co-host. He's a Chicago Public League legend. He's a Simeon legend. He's a Grambling State legend. He played second base for the Tigers back in the day. He's now the head coach at Simeon and is becoming the coaching legend over there. He is Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke. And we've got our NFL draft analyst. You can see all this work at NBCSportsChicago.com. All this mock drafts. He's on the Under Center podcast. He's on Football Night in Chicago. He is Glenn Morgan, our GM. Gentlemen, what's going on? How you guys doing?
Doing all right. But as usual, man, you always forget one little extra thing, man.
Uh-oh.
You forgot I'm the 17th best fourth slated bowler in our league, man.
What does that mean?
I mean, that means that in the fourth spot, there's only maybe 16 people better than me.
Okay.
No, I have no idea, man. But yeah, dude. Yeah. It's getting a little tight. Had bowling today, and we only took 3 out of 7 points. We're hanging in the playoff spot by the skin of our chin. Next week, we got to win. Winning, we in. Losing, we're probably not. So it's a big difference between getting maybe $400 back or maybe $600-700 back per person, and or more. So
that's a nice little change there.
Yeah, lots of money on the line, man. If we can win the whole thing, you're talking about $1,000, I think, a piece person back. So.
Wow, that's pressure. Pressure.
It's annoying. It's annoying.
Man, hey, I got the chance to go out and check out Smoke's Simeon Wolverines yesterday, man. Let me tell you, it was a pleasure to go out there, man. They kicked some butt in the doubleheader against Washington High School kids from the East Side, and it was good time out there, man. It was my first high school baseball game in over 20 years. So it's fun to come out there, man. Got to feel the ambiance, the smells of the game, good public league matchup. You have that smell of the parent or one parent smoking a nice black and mild. Something always lovely about that. I don't know why. It's a good smell. But no. Seriously though, man, your boys went out there, man, took care of business. You got a solid team, man. So I was proud of you guys out there, man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Are you guys ranked early on, or no rankings this soon? How does baseball work? How does baseball work with that?
Yeah, we're not ranked. PBR Prep Baseball Report, Illinois sector. They kind of do rankings, and if you ever that a public league team lands in their rankings to start out, if anyone is in their top 25 currently, it'll probably be Lane Tech, but they just lost to Kenwood, so yeah, right now, that public league baseball don't necessarily get the respect that
never has.
And especially now, a little back then it got more respect than it does now. With the growth of travel baseball, Catholic League teams and your suburban schools have kind of
more resources.
Supreme, reign supreme, and so yeah, it is what it is. But hey, I'm 1-0 against the Catholic League this year, which I'm gonna hang on to. Be the
They poo butts. That's good.
Hey,
all right, we take them out.
Hey, got them, and so so I mean, and Lane Tech has beat Mount Carmel as well as St. Rita. So I mean, okay. So that's why I say if anyone is probably in their considerations, it will be Lane Tech, but I don't even think they put them in that top 25 yet, and that's kind of crazy. So that just shows you how they don't really pay attention. Yeah, it's a little biased, but no one really cares about high school baseball rankings, honestly. High school rankings really is a football, basketball thing.
Right, right.
Baseball, nobody really cares. I mean, Edwardsville is number one. You'll never see a school in Southern Illinois in a top 25, really. Like, even in football, we know how good East St. Louis is.
Mm-hmm.
They're never in the Sun Times top 25. They're
Right.
never. But Edwardsville is number one in baseball, which they should be because they defending state championship back to back years.
Okay.
So which they should be, but you get what I'm coming at. Like Sun Times pretty much take care of
Chicago
football and
area.
baseball,
Yeah.
the Chicago area, and
Yeah.
baseball don't get none of that love. So that's more so what I'm speaking of. When it comes to rankings for baseball, PBR covers the entire state and not just the Chicago area. So when you have that mix, you getting schools from all over. So
I think something, man. They've been hit. Sometimes have been hit with staff layoffs. Revenue stream issues, and so
as far as the Sun-Times,
they've had to lay off and um, come off of high school coverage in general. So really, you only see real coverage on football and basketball, not as much as they used to in baseball. So, sad state, but that's what it is right now. Man, hey Glenn, they had this cat number 13 came out, man. First off, he comes in relief on the mound, right? And big boy, man, he's got to be what 6'2", 6'3", 200 and
probably 6'1". 6 feet, 6'1" even.
I give him 6'2". 6'1". He's a big boy. He's about 200, 255, 260
big,
pounds. Man, big boy, man.
Okay. So wide body.
He's definitely a big
one.
Yeah.
Man, he came out, man. Came on the mound.
CC Sabathia style.
Wiped him out, 3 up, 3 down. And then came up to bat and, man, got under a pitch, man, and sent a moonshot.
Wait, did you hear me, though, going off on him? Because I didn't want him using that bat.
What was the issue with the bat?
So he's been one of our harder hitters this season. And he used a 33 Cat X, which I'm probably the biggest Marucci baseball. If you're listening, Coach Smoke is a big advocate for the Marucci Cat X bat.
Okay.
I think that's the best bat in baseball. Period.
What was he using?
He uses the black. He has the black Cat X bat, and he's been tearing the cover off the ball.
Okay.
One of alumni whose little brother is a senior now on my team, and he goes to Olive Harvey. He brought a bat out there, a 33 and a half. That it's pretty light, and when you put it in your hand, and start letting the guys use it, and the ball jumps off that bat.
Okay.
So, kid you're talking about, he went and bought the bat. He decides to buy 34. I'm like, Chris, that's too damn big.
Yeah, he's not getting that around.
You need to use the 3. So we go to, matter of fact, we went to Illinois State the previous Saturday. He picked up the 33 and a half, the former guy's bat. He picked that up and he struck out. And I got on him. I'm like, that's because you. Like, dude, you've been having a hell of a year swinging the bat you've been swinging. I'm like, the baseball guys is real, man.
You stick with it.
And so he picked his bat up and started hitting the ball again.
Yeah.
Then, like I said, he come to practice the next day with this bat. I'm like, dude, you went and bought, and then you go buy a 34? Like, so I'm like, so in cage, he hitting and all that. I'm like, dude, if you use that bat in the game and your ass get out, I'm going off. So when he went up to play with that bat in his hand, I'm like, if you don't get a hit, just know I'm gonna be highly upset. And then he proceeds to smoke the ball. If he don't get under that, he literally got under that ball. If he lines that ball up, oh my God.
It would have been 500 feet.
It's probably still going. It's probably still going.
So he hits this moonshot, and it ends up it goes off the wall, lands right at the wall, and he gets into second base, RBI double. But now I heard that coaching decision, you moved the wall back this season. Is that true?
Yeah.
Because of the firm to the nine.
So thing is, when I got out there, the fence was already the left field fence was already where it was,
Okay.
and it was a bunch of fences just all over the place. So the way the left field fence was, it was lined up perfectly. So I thought that was just always where the fence was.
Yeah.
And then I just took everything else and
And lined it up.
lined it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I did move center field back to 360 because originally it was at 330. And I'm like, that's just too
That's
short
too
for high
short.
school
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too
baseball.
short.
Absolutely.
So I moved it back to 360. The boys swear that the field is too big. Listen, at this point of the season, neither us nor no opponents have hit any home runs. And I'm fine with that.
That's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
fine with that. So I ain't moving them. And so I ain't moving them. And then I ain't moving them. Like, nah. Mm-mm.
Oh man. But now
And it's
this
only from it was measured, it's only 307 down the line.
is it?
That's what it was measured at. Now I'm gonna remeasure it myself. Someone measured it and said 307 down.
307. No, I think, man, I would think at least 315, 320. Maybe
So we'll
not.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyway.
I'm debating. I'm definitely not moving it in
No, I wouldn't say
before
if I were
tomorrow.
you, man.
You got your alma mater tomorrow.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir. I
Oh,
saw
really?
I saw they were
yeah,
out there. They were out there too,
yeah.
Where's this game
checking
at?
you
Is
guys
it at
out.
Kenwood
That's
or is that
me.
Simi?
That's
It's a
me.
Simeon.
So
What time? What time is the
we were
game?
supposed to play them Friday, but Kenwood, it's just Chicago State, I would say. Something happened where they took the covering off the mound because Chicago State has a dirt mound, turf field, but dirt mound. And then all that rain that we got last week, the mound was screwed.
Wait. That's a college team. They should know better than that.
They don't have a baseball team.
They're base. I thought they had a baseball team.
No, Chicago State got rid of their baseball program.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. So
Yeah,
how? Well, I
the
mean, I
soccer
guess.
team uses the field.
Ah, and they talking about bringing in football now
Exactly,
after.
exactly,
Huh. Okay.
exactly.
All right. Well, this is
Weird, ain't it?
we're not gonna get
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
A lot I had to say about that, but we won't touch that yet. But yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I'm gonna try to come out. I know you guys play out at Ozinga next week in the classic, so I'm gonna
Yep.
try to come out for that.
What time is the
Uh,
game? Against
5 o'clock. Tomorrow 4:30. Well, probably a start at 5. Kenwood's probably not gonna get there until 4:30 because of school
Get a warm up.
buses. Yeah. So
all right. So hey, let's get to it. I guess the big story of the day is the premier college basketball tournament going on right now. It's not the men. It's been the women has been all the craze. The championship game took place today between South Carolina and the Caitlin Clarks.
and the Caitlin Clarks.
And South Carolina came away with the big victory. Started off kind of slow for them. It was I think Iowa started on a 10-0 run.
10-0 to start the
And
game.
yeah, it
Really?
looked like it was gonna be
Yeah.
it looked like it was gonna be a
And
cakewalk, but
that was 10-0 before Clark even
yeah
scored a point.
yeah Clark hadn't
And,
even scored. Yeah, you're right
and
about
mind
that.
you, she finished with 18 in the first quarter.
Yeah. So yeah. So they clawed back. South Carolina clawed back, took the lead going into the half, and yeah, never looked back from there. But a really good game, very competitive game. And yeah, first off, let's just start it off, man. Is this a sign of the future? Are we going to be looking at women's college basketball as a force, or is it just the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese effect that's been going on now for the last couple of years?
Uh, I I think women's college basketball it's been elevated a little bit more, but it's always been more prominent. It's always been more relevant than the WNBA. Always
Yeah,
been.
yeah.
And so I think that's not going to change. Like a lot of people are like, man, Caitlin Clark about to bring all this attention to the WNBA. And I'm telling them, no, she's not. This is going to go away. Now it's the Juju show in college basketball. And that's what's going to carry the women sport moving forward. The WNBA is just no one watches it. And I mean it's been many players to the level of Caitlin Clark.
We have many superstars
that are in the WNBA, and it
Yeah.
still hasn't been able to, gain that type of viewership or popularity within the sports. So I just don't see anything changing there. But I think women's college basketball has always been very entertaining. I just think any sport where it's one and done possibility always draws attention, and so the women's game has always had that hype. I mean, you had it where in the in the 90s with Tennessee, everyone wanted to beat Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And you had UConn, which has been pretty much for a long time now. Everyone was chasing UConn. So they always had them juggernauts that everyone wanted to beat. And then they've always had the sensation, the player that was the talent, So I don't think that changed. Like I say, Juju is next up. For her to get to the Elite Eight as a freshman with the hype behind her, I think she's next up. And then we'll see the same thing from college basketball. Now, will we see it at the level of a Caitlin Clark? Maybe not. Maybe not. But the hype will still be there. I don't think this changes anything for the WNBA, though, at all. That's how I see it.
Well, the WNBA, I think their problem is it's a summer league, and honestly, people have things to do, right? So that goes in. You look, I mean, even look at Major League Baseball. You look at the attendance around the league in the major leagues, and it's not what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Not obviously, they're the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
They draw.
Cardinals.
Cardinals, another one, yeah, absolutely. But you look at the overall majority of the Major League Baseball teams out there, man, they don't draw. They don't. You see a bunch of empty seats out there. Ratings are not as high as they used to be, and I think a lot of that is that it's a lot out there that's occupying our minds now, and especially when there's nice weather out there. And I think that hurts the WNBA in ways. So they have to figure that out. Now, hopefully they can, ride this wave here, this Caitlin Clark wave. And I know the WNBA players they can't wait for her to get there. I got a feeling that she's gonna have a huge target on her back when she gets to the league this summer, and it's gonna be a rude awakening for her, no doubt. I don't think she's gonna see something she hasn't seen before coming in these pros. But the college game, man. I mean, I'm looking at a time where we may be filling out women's college brackets like we do with men.
That was this year.
Yeah,
for a lot of people.
Yeah. So no, go ahead.
No, finish. I thought you.
So yeah, I was just finishing up saying, hey, I think this is going to be a ride that's going to continue to grow here. The college game, you know what? You brought back Smoke. You brought up the 90s. I think the issue back then was that you had the couple of superpower teams. You had your UConn, you had your Tennessee,
Stanford
was every once in a
Duke.
while they break in.
Stanford, Duke.
Notre Dame had some years there.
Yeah,
Duke. Don't forget about Duke.
But that was it. Yeah, Duke. Did Duke win?
Duke had a nice little run where they may have lost to Stanford, they may have lost them, but they were getting there. And then UNC had a little bit too. Remember
Yeah,
the
you talking
Olympic
about
sprinter?
Ivory Lotto?
Well, in
Yeah,
the
I
sprint
remember her. Yeah, yeah.
and the sprinter who got caught for steroids, the
Marion
Olympic
Jones.
Marion
Yeah,
Marion
Jones.
yeah,
Okay.
Jones.
yeah. But
And yeah,
but I think now that talent is starting to spread out. You see Iowa. Kim Mulkey had Baylor there for a little bit. Now she's at LSU and she gets the talent. UConn is UConn. Your Tennessee team,
no,
no.
no, no, no.
Hired a new coach today.
Well, unless it's little the light skinned point guard that played for
Nah,
them.
it wasn't Kara Lawson. Who did they
Yeah,
hired?
if it wasn't Carol Lawson, it don't matter.
Wasn't Kara Lawson.
It won't matter.
Oh, they didn't hire Lawson?
Nah.
Man.
Then it won't
I
matter.
want I
It
wonder
won't
if she
matter until
said
they
I
catch
wonder
it.
if she said no.
She may have, or maybe something in the front office or the AD office or whatever that may be. She doesn't quite feel it's where it needs to be. Until that
Uh,
changes, she may be on a like, nah, thank you, but no thank you.
they hired Kim Caldwell, who previously was at Marshall.
Yeah, that just as a Tennessee person, it just the buzz just isn't. Sorry, you you Tennessee. The court says Patty at Summit Court. There's a standard. And y'all need to. You're playing below that standard. You're recruiting below that standard, and as such, it's starting to look that way. But to your point earlier about the women's game, I mean, several things I think work against the NBA. You mentioned it happening during the summertime, and that's after a long NBA season.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA for some people, not so much for me, for some people, the NBA, they're like, not what it used to be. And to follow that behind with a product that's not at the level of the NBA, it's tough to really generate that viewership. On top of the fact that who's going to be watching it? You still get young girls and young women who sitting down and watching those games isn't like what it is for the men during the winter months or the summer months or the expectation levels of that product. It's just not there. Now, some of that fervor that the college game has created is creating new fans. And maybe in time, 5 to 10 years, that might be able to, if you get enough of those players and they follow enough of those players, that might trickle. To your point, you had some superstars at some of the super programs, but people all across the country aren't necessarily following those players from Stanford, or if it's not UConn, if it's not Sue Bird, Maya Moore, Rebecca Lobo, does anybody remember what school Leslie came from?
Lisa Leslie?
USC.
Lisa
USC.
Leslie?
USC.
Okay.
USC.
Yeah, okay. Not a lot of people may not know that. But now I think with NIL and with social media and even with the volatility of the transfer portal where these players can transfer and maybe go to bigger name schools per se, like the young lady who's a point guard for LSU had transferred from Louisville, I think, right? So Louisville not as high profile as LSU had become.
Well,
And you
she's
start.
back in the transfer portal now.
That
There
wasn't
you go.
considered.
Like I said, the volatility of the transfer portal.
Yeah.
But you're starting to see, and I think I showed a smoke I showed is this. It was like a Slam sponsored All-Star game, girl All-Star game last summer, and it had some really nice players. And the young point guard she was a freshman year at Notre Dame, little shorty, and she did really good in the tournament this year. And she was in this summer league slam sponsor tournament. Juju was there, and them other players that were interested. Like, man, these girls are playing at a different level, and it was entertaining. And it's like, man, it's one Brooklyn point guard. Can't remember her name right now. She's a Latina, and she ended up being a freshman at LSU. Now she didn't get a lot of tick, but I was like, because I saw her at this tournament, I said, let me see where school she went to. Oh, LSU, and then I caught like a glimpse of her game. So something like that is I'm giving a small example of you're starting to see better talent, better skilled talent catch your eye, and now because women don't leave as quickly as the men do, there's some sustainability with the programs, identification with these players in the programs, the NIL stuff. So you might start seeing them on commercials and TV a little bit more. So there could be some recognition, but it's collegiately. And college, whether you like college or not, the one thing that's good for college, or one thing that college does better than the pros, and that's no matter whether it's basketball, football, and what have you, the colleges usually don't leave, and the fan base lasts for generations.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fervor on the college campus because of the youth and the vitality. The college game just sounds different. You go to a college game, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, the energy, the enthusiasm, the raucous, rivalry between rivals, all that stuff, it just has a different energy. And so it translates better. You get to the NBA, I don't know what any rivalries are in the WNBA. The NBA itself doesn't have the rivalries that it used to.
Yeah, and it misses it a lot.
Yeah, and so it's somewhat problematic. It just doesn't translate. And so yeah, I think collegiate, to sum it up with like what Smoke said, I think collegially it's going to thrive and be better than it. It's not a straight line. Women's progression hasn't been a straight line. It's been peaks and valleys and what have you. USC back in the day, back when I was a kid, Cheryl Miller and McGee twins, and then you had the Lady Texters from
Louisiana Tech.
Kim Mulkey. Witherspoon and Kim Mulkey was a point guard on that team, who's the head coach now at LSU. And that was and like you said, that you had some evil empire type or that hill someone had to climb over to be able to be the next big time baddie on the block for a while. So the Lady Texas for a while, then Texas, Tennessee, then Texas, or Texas and Tennessee, and then Connecticut. And so you had this little undulating wave, Stanford for a while. But now you're starting to see a little more spread. And that's South Carolina dominated, and they've got some real big bodies, but they didn't win last year, and they had as good a team talent-wise per se. This year, I think Don Staley realized I need better shooters. I can't just be George Thompson and dominate from the inside. I need better shooters. The big reason why they were able to come back and win. Iowa won't have the sustainability that it did. They had a phenom, and you're not going to get lucky like that again. But Iowa has been to 3 championships. They won one way back when what's the head coach? She coached at Rutgers, Cheney State. Vivian Stringer, right?
Yeah.
I think she won at Iowa. But you're starting to see, other teams spread out. North Carolina State made it.
She was at Iowa?
Yeah, dude. She won a championship at Iowa.
As a coach or as a player?
As a coach. No, as a coach.
She coached. Okay, I didn't know that.
She's one of I think maybe one of less than 5 coaches to take 3 different teams to a Final Four, or maybe into a championship game. Cheney State, because she was at Cheney State the same time that John Chaney was there.
Right.
And then Iowa. That's when I first heard about it.
That blows.
And then Rutgers.
I knew about Cheney State, and that blows my mind that HBCU was, at the top of women's basketball. And man, that's outstanding.
And then Iowa, and then Rutgers.
Rutgers,
her Rutgers team lost to Tennessee. So I think collegiately, I think you'll see less of a variance in the peaks and valleys. I think you'll see a little more sustainability, and because again, these young, I see some of these young girls. They're really, the skill level has grown exponentially. It really has, and you're starting to see someone like Caitlin Clark. She's obviously a bit of an anomaly. Her shooting range is ridiculous, and the consistency she's hitting these long shots is ridiculous. Her step back is legit. At this level. We'll see what happens when she gets to the pros.
Today, she pulled up from 40 feet on one. Now, she missed it, but nobody better than I was like, damn, she's the only person, her and Steph Curry. Only people that can take that shot, and nobody say nothing about it.
Right.
Not a bad shot.
For her.
For them. Yeah.
But and
that credit, school would too, though. But that's Sabrina.
Yeah.
And to Caitlin's credit, she's not just a scorer. She's a hell of a passer. Her assists. She drops some dimes, some nice bounce passes. She's very fundamentally sound. Blah blah blah. But I think there's a bit more exciting, and I think Ed said it once too. And I know we don't want to belabor too much on this point, but it's like if they lower the rim just a little bit,
I still believe that.
You might start seeing more athleticism. The only problem with that is, and this is going to sound very misogynistic, so I'm prefacing this by saying this is going to sound misogynistic. I don't know what it is, but when women basketball players fall, it is the most unorthodox, excruciating, painful looking thing I've ever seen in quite some time. So if they're out there trying to run and dunk, you might see some injuries on, some falls or some of these attempts. But that being said, I think, because when we've seen some females dunk, it does raise the level a little bit,
Absolutely.
and it's tough when you're watching the highlights and you see a fast break, it's just going to end in a
It's
layup.
gonna be a layup. Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
I I shared that point with my cousin who we've had him on the show, Jordan. He coaches at Loyola. He's an assistant women's basketball coach at Loyola in Chicago, and yeah, he immediately called me a sexist pig, and that I need to change my viewpoint. I was like, no, I'm taking this all the way. When I become the czar of basketball, man, because I just think that it would bring the athleticism more into the game because clearly it's there.
Well, the ball is
They've got
smaller,
it.
so
Yeah, yeah. You bring that dunk into the game, man. That's gonna change it.
The thing that despises me with this conversation is the fact that the women sport, their players, their ultimate fans, they speak so much on how they don't get the support. They don't get the attention. But then when someone give a suggestion on what could possibly help, oh, you're sexist. And okay, well, we won't continue to watch. How about that? How about that? Don't get mad that we're not watching and then don't want a suggestion as to why men would probably take into your game. I mean, I have some reasons of my own why I won't watch it. I'm not gonna speak on that, but uh I'll speak on that offline. But for the most part, I do watch women's sports. Like my wife gets on me, like, you literally watch everything. Like I enjoy women's games, but I think it's some things that I believe could that they could do better at that will draw the attention. I mean, I never really thought about the whole lowering the rim thing, but I do think that's a good idea. I mean, you it's just like, man, like,
And
something
by
got to
the
change.
by the way, I was backed up by Atlanta Deladon. She also um, put that point out there that lowering the rim is not a bad. Now she said 9.5.
Yeah, I think 9.5 is a start in
But
C.
yeah, I'm not alone. I'm
Nine's
not
drastic.
alone. I'm not alone. So we're gonna fight for
Like,
this.
if you want people to watch, you got to change something.
Yeah, yeah.
Got to change something because I mean, whether like you say, Caitlin Clark shooting like she's shooting in the college level, that ain't nobody about to care about that next at the next level. She going to the Indiana Fever.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna be trash.
Well,
And she might average 30. Who knows? But they gonna be 30 in L's.
we shall see in just a
I
couple short
mean,
months here, man. And shout out to Dawn Staley, her third national championship. Um,
Congrats.
and man, I remember her. My sister was a huge USA basketball fan back in the '90s, and she had Dawn Staley plastered on all her bedroom walls. So that's awesome, man. Good stuff for Dawn Staley and being that steward now. Um, I think she's at the mountaintop. She's the leader now of the movement in women's college basketball.
Well, she's visible. She's younger than Gino,
Right.
and she's
mm-hmm.
more relevant and current, and she's relatable because she looks like a lot of the players.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's move on to the men's game. Final Four took place last night, and uh, Final Four: Alabama, NC State, UConn, and Purdue.
Whoa.
UConn.
I'm sorry.
What's up?
Just got breaking news.
What you got?
Kentucky's John Calipari is finalizing a 5-year deal to become the next coach at Arkansas.
Whoa!
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa!
How do you leave Kentucky?
Why would you want to do
Arkansas?
that?
Wow.
I don't understand that one.
Maybe
He was about to get fired. That's why.
I mean, I guess, but you're John Calipari. I mean, Arkansas is not horrible, and it's got some
they
history, no doubt.
had their years when
It's about the money.
Nolan Smith,
when Nolan Richardson was there.
Richardson.
Yeah. But to Arkansas?
The money. He was about to get fired. He knew that.
The money, Arkansas. You trying to tell me Arkansas got more than Kentucky basketball? No,
he was about to get fired.
Was he?
No,
man, he was really? About to get fired, man.
I know fans are unhappy. He had a first round exit this year. He wasn't really embracing the transfer portal. He was still trying to do the one and done thing. But Kentucky to Arkansas?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't know. Okay, let me ask you this. Where does John Calipari go when he's looking for a job? Because UNC ain't open. Duke ain't open. UCLA ain't open. That's UCLA, just with the name tradition. I mean, it's, Michigan. I mean, maybe Michigan.
USC was open?
Yeah. I'm saying the same thing. I'm like, really? You leave Kentucky to go to USC? I know it's in LA, but there's no
but it's LA though. It's LA.
No history in USC, bro.
But
there's a reason why they have never done anything.
They throwing a bag at them. They got to be.
Arkansas?
And not that, but it's the same conference too. I don't know, bro. I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, I happened to see that. That literally popped up.
Look at Smoke breaking news on the podcast.
As you said, let's go to the men's game. That popped up.
That's just I don't like.
If you told me he went to Louisville, that almost makes more sense to me than Arkansas. But Louisville ain't what it used to be. I get it. I mean, Arkansas has a history, so I guess it's
they've got a very good basketball history. I just don't see him fitting there.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't see the the East Coast guy.
Well,
Kentucky's one thing.
I mean, dude, Kentucky basketball is like Alabama football. They love you or they hate you. There ain't no in between. Yeah, maybe his hate meter was rising. Isn't Michigan wild. Did Michigan let somebody go?
Juwan Howard, yeah.
Like Kentucky and Michigan would have made a little sense to me because it's Michigan.
But I think Michigan made. I think they had made their hire already.
Person.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know, man. I guess we'll see what happens.
All right. Back to the men's game. Final four. It was UConn. UConn took out Alabama last night. Got some money in that one. Thank you very much.
Too big on the inside, man.
Big time. And it was Purdue taking out NC State. So a good championship coming tomorrow. I think championship game tomorrow.
Got Connecticut.
Yeah, after that Illinois game,
I
can't see anyone taking down Connecticut, man.
That's when it did it for you.
Yeah, and the crazy part. The crazy part about this is they're the repeat champion, right? Or they're the defending national champ. They're not the repeat yet. They haven't won it yet. They're the defending national champs. Yet, and they play in the Big East. The Big East Conference, for the most part, is still a very good tough basketball conference.
Creighton.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have DePaul, but whatever.
But Marquette, Creighton, got some other teams.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Villanova.
Villanova, yeah. Um, Yet we're not looking at them as at least going into the tournament as the defending champs. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
it's
And
weird
I don't
with
know why that is.
it's weird with them. Even last year, it's weird with them. Like we looked at them completely different than we looked at them from the John Calhoun
Yeah, yeah.
Jim
team,
Jim Calhoun.
Jim
Jim
Calhoun,
Calhoun. Yeah,
Connecticut teams, and the 1 year they won under
The brother.
the brother. Like it's like
Ollie, Kevin Ollie.
Kevin
Kevin
Ollie.
out.
Yeah,
It's like looking at the teams now. It seems like it's a completely different UConn.
It
yeah.
is. It is in
Like
a way.
But they are. You watch them, man. They are solid. And I'm telling
Well
you,
coached.
just a good team.
the way they dismantled Illinois, it was 23 all. And then before you know it, it
Dudes
was
went on
a
the
30-0
30-0.
run. How?
That was insane. How do
Against easily, that was the best Illinois team since 2005.
Well, a top 10 defensive team, I think. At
Who
least
was that?
Illinois going to the tournament. I think they're one of the better defensive teams.
They're deep. They
In
were
terms of forcing
more scoring team.
turnovers.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah, but
more scoring team. They would take some time off on the defensive end from time to time, and they would make some mistakes. But at the end of the day, though, they would make up for it in
they could
scoring.
clamp down. Yeah, and
Yeah,
they could score
and
off
if
their
they need
defense a
to,
lot.
yeah, if they need to clamp down, they could. But a 30-0 run, and like literally Illinois could do nothing. It was like they were thought ghosts were chasing them because they were looking for the 7-footer and they thought he was gonna come and swat that shot. And they played scared the entire beginning of that second half. And at that point, I said, you know what, there's no one stopping UConn at this point. Now, if there was a team to do it, Purdue is that team. They obviously
really?
they
You
got
think
Zach
so?
Edey. If someone
Edie ain't
out there is,
Edie ain't athletic enough.
Nope.
that's what I was gonna say. Edey has been dominating down low against everybody. Nobody can stop him. But and he man, I mean, your guys had a
Shot.
little bit success early, Grambling
Yeah, they was
against Purdue in the
hacking
first
his
round.
ass.
Yeah, they're right, exactly. But then the fouls started adding up, and you can't hack them all game. But UConn's got the answer in their own 7-footer, and yeah, I can't see Purdue taking them out tomorrow. I don't see it.
It's
So
gonna be a
I'm
blowout, dude. They're gonna win by 20 plus points.
Agreed. Purdue, you ain't Virginia from a few years ago. Lose as a 1 seed to a 16, and then the next year win it all. Congrats on getting back there.
They're getting there. They're getting to the championship.
But UConn is really they're really good, dog. They're really good. Like Bama put their best foot forward yesterday. And it's just like they were just trying to catch up to their big brother the whole game. It's like UConn was like, okay, come on. You're getting closer. Okay, let's extend it a little bit. Okay, come on. Okay, we'll extend it a little. It's like they was toying with them, man. The team is just they're too good. They're too athletic. Like Purdue don't stand a chance. Edie is not as athletic as the big guy
that's
for UConn.
Klingon.
That boy moves like he moves.
he
Edie
looks
is
like he looks like he can play in the NBA.
yeah, like he moves. Edie don't move well. And it's he get the ball, he got some little post moves, but with a guy of that size and that athleticism on the defensive end, he's gonna have trouble.
Might
Gonna
get in
have
foul
trouble.
trouble.
And then they bring in the tall African looking brother off the bench. that's like super athletic. Like run the floor like a guard. Like might not be as strong, but he's quick. Like man, yeah. Pray for Purdue.
It's not gonna be that bad, man.
Man, they gonna
Dude,
kick
20
Purdue
points or
ass.
more. Yep.
Well, it could be. It can be. Like I said, the Illinois game made me a believer in UConn. But yeah, why? Let me ask this. With Dan Hurley defending national champs once again, I think we should be looking at him as the, you know, the
Best walking
coaching.
thumb.
Wow, the coaching leader, right? But I don't think we look at him that way, and I don't know why that is right now.
Because he looks like a human thumb.
That's not true, Glenn. That's not true, man.
Who gets excited about a thumb?
It's because they ain't getting these top 100 guys like that. These prima donnas that the guy we started this segment with, Calipari, is getting. He getting a solid roster and dominating.
Calipari has a little bit of swag and some pizzazz. This Hurley guy just looks like a really, I'm angry because I've been looked over my entire life, and gosh darn it, I'm gonna
And
win.
he about to win more national championships than Calipari.
But he has been though.
Yeah.
I mean, you look back at his history, man. I mean, he was
the other brother.
He was Bobby's
Bobby
little
Hurley.
brother,
Yeah.
right? He goes to Seton Hall, and they give him crap everywhere he goes because he's Bobby Hurley's brother, and everybody hates Duke and Bobby Hurley, and so they give him crap about that, and it gets to a point where, he basically, he was having some mental health issues and anxiety issues, and he had to quit right during his playing days because it was rough on him, man. And he's worked back.
He went in the lab
And yeah,
found the secret sauce.
exactly.
Because I don't know what he do at halftime, but they come out of halftime like they drunk Michael's secret stuff, like from Space Jam. These dudes come out of halftime and just dominate team. I don't know what he do at halftime to them dudes. Like, it's crazy. Every game this tournament, it was like it was close early. And then next thing you know, they up 30.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? How did it just happen? Like in a blink of an eye. That's what Illinois was like quick. Like, whoa. Like, how did this happen?
I mean, you would have thought Illinois was like a double-digit seeded team. The way they put them out. Seriously. It was bad. It was bad. So yeah, I can't. I'm willing to put all my my little ducats I have in my account on UConn tomorrow. So I think I'm gonna be doing that. But yeah, another thing, Zach Edey. Now I have an issue with this. You guys talk about how Zach Edey can't move. Okay, maybe he can't, but he's been dominating the last couple years in college basketball, down low in the blocks.
Because nobody plays down low in the blocks anymore.
Okay, so then he's gonna force some people to have to do that.
Not at the NBA level.
Well, why not?
Because he's not going to get to the hole quick enough before his teammates are going to shoot the ball.
What team he's going to play with that's going to slow it down enough for him?
You force him to, and you give him an allotted amount of time. Maybe I don't know basketball. I don't know, but I think
that you don't know basketball. I think the new way of basketball.
I think for I don't know, 14 minutes of a basketball game, he can come in whatever time that is.
Is he 7'4"?
Yeah.
He's 7'4"?
Yeah. Yeah, let me check that maybe. Make sure. Yeah, he is. Because I saw him, he dapped up with Shaq yesterday. And he's taller than Shaq. and Shaq is 7'1", 7'2".
7'2", right?
Yeah. So he's got to be probably a legit 7'3", 7'4".
He's a really poor man's Roy Hibbert to me. And I think unless
A
Edey
poor
increases
man's
his
Roy Hibbert.
yes,
So you say he's
unless
not even Roy Hibbert?
no, unless he
God.
increases his shooting range, dude, his shooting range is like 7 feet and 7 feet's like long. I mean, most of his shots are putbacks or these little slams because nobody's tall enough to stop him. He ain't go, dude. You're gonna have 6, 7 guards blocking this shit in the NBA. Okay, you have 6'4" guards going, get that shit out of here. Dude, was it Jalen Green from is that his name from Houston?
Yeah.
Dude, I could just see him going up just tagging his shit, catching it. And dude, his own teammates are not going to be waiting for him. His offense is going to be putbacks, and that's if they're not taking these long shots and long rebounds that he can't athletically get to. I see him probably, but he's 7'4", so I see him probably averaging 12 points and like 8 rebounds to 9 rebounds in the NBA. And that sounds nice, but it's bullshit like garbage points and putback stuff. It's not because he'd be some integral aspect of the offense. It's like, dude, he at 7'4", you should be the first pick in the draft. I do not think he'll be the first pick in the draft.
No, I don't think he's going to be a late first round, second round pick. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he can make a career for himself
Yeah,
in the
he's
NBA
7'4".
doing that.
NBA is
I'm not
one
saying
sport.
wait. I'm not saying he's gonna be this superstar and this game changer. No, I'm
No, I
saying that
think
he's
you
gonna be
are. I
able.
think you are saying he's going to
I'm
be a
not
superstar.
saying that.
He's not.
I'm saying that
You led
he's
off
gonna be
with,
able to make a career for himself, and he's gonna be able to average, I don't know, 8 points a game playing
ooh.
down in the low post.
That's not how
He'll
you
be
started it off, Is. No,
he
I'm calling you on it, Is. That's not how you start. You said, hey, man, he's a 2-time Big Ten champion
I
or
said he's
big
a
player,
2-time player of the year. He
which
is.
means nothing. It means nothing.
But
It means nothing.
no. But I'm saying for people to say he's not going to be able to play in the NBA. That's come on.
When they say he's not going to be able to play, they're saying he's not going to be the 2-time defendant. What did you say? He's 2-time player,
He's
college
player of the
player?
year, college player of the year. Yeah.
Right. That this gives you the idea that the state of college basketball when it comes to him, he's not. What they're saying is that dude, that 2-time player of the year shit is not going to translate in the NBA. What's the brother? Brunson was a 2-time Naismith winner, wasn't he?
Who?
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson?
Brunson.
I don't
Brunson.
know.
I don't
I
know.
don't
Yeah,
know
I know
that.
he won one. I think he might have won
Okay.
two. I know he
There were
won
people,
one.
wait. There were people that said he couldn't play in the NBA. He was a second round pick. And
Yeah,
look at him now.
but his skill said he could play. He only did. No, he was only shot at for the opposite reason why Edey's going to be considered significant. It's because he was short and Edey's tall. Hey, dude, look, I said it earlier. Look, what was the dude that used to be on the back of the Lakers bench forever? Is it Nesbitt? That skinny white
E,
dude who was like 7'5" or something like that
Edey Edey's
Used to play
Edey's
for the Pistons.
for the Pistons or the Lakers. He was like the 13th guy on the bench of 12 or whatever. It was like Nesbitt. It's like, dude, the only reason this dude is still in the NBA is because he is that tall. It has nothing to do with his skill set or him being a dude. Like Manute Bol eventually showed some skill, but he was tall as hell, dude. George Muresan couldn't get up and down the court, but
He's not gonna
he
be
was in the
George.
NBA for a
Stop.
while.
He's not gonna be George Muresan. Stop that.
Edey's
Yeah,
gonna be
Muresan had a shot.
Edey's gonna be in the G League.
Come on. No.
Edey's gonna be in the G League, man. He's gonna be like
Not
what's the guy, man? That's the tall dude that they be dunking over in dunk contests and stuff.
It'll be easy to be that guy next.
I can't.
He'll take his place.
You talking about Taco Fall?
Taco Fall, man. He's
not gonna be Taco Fall. Come on, man.
No, he might not be that good.
No,
he's not gonna be Taco Fall. Stop
he's better than Taco Fall.
Y'all, man, come on.
He's better than Taco Fall, but he gonna be in the G League like Taco Fall. That's what's gonna happen. His game just don't translate. He's not athletic enough.
He doesn't need to be. I'm saying you're gonna be able a coach who has some type of imagination is going to be able to give him,
There isn't
like
one.
I said, 7 minutes a half
There isn't one.
to go and take somebody down in the post.
There isn't one.
No one's gonna wait for him to take someone in the post.
That's
And if he
that's
gets
what
in the post, what the hell is he gonna do?
He gonna
these ain't these ain't
dunk the
these ain't little
ball.
boy these ain't little boys no more
I
who
get
going in
Dude,
the
that.
post
I get
again.
that. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. I'm sorry.
okay, you see. Look,
We
how do we say
will.
it on this podcast? We ain't saying we're right. We just don't think we're wrong.
I'm sorry. I just think he's going to be able to carve himself out a nice career in the NBA.
Look, man, I hope he got
I'm
all
not
that nine.
saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm saying that
He gonna be
Yeah,
around because his size. He
he's
gonna be
gonna
a
be
prop
strong.
in the
no,
dunk contest.
no, that's not no.
He gonna be a
Yes.
prop.
He's going to be a legitimate
Prop. A
seventh
legitimate
guy
prop.
off
Is
the
he gonna
bench.
start?
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, not to
Well,
start.
this well, then stop with your two-time player of the year noise. Two-time player of the year is gonna be buried on the bench. Stop. That just shows you this is crap.
Look good.
But he is
Not
the
one.
two-time.
Look,
I'm not making that up.
I'm not saying you are, but you can't be the two-time player, not of the conference, but player of all of college basketball, and your fate is to be coming off the bench as the seventh guy. You're not even the sixth guy. You're like the seventh or eighth guy off the bench. That's garbage.
I put it to you this way: is a cat like Jahlil Okafor couldn't survive,
Oh, thank you.
and Edey ain't
Well,
close.
That was more. He had some.
No, it
That
was
was
because of his
more
game.
mental. It wasn't just his
No, it was
game.
because of his
That
game.
wasn't just physical game.
It was a lot because of his style of play. It was a lot because of that. His mental got broke down because he had to try to change who he was as a player to fit the NBA way.
To survive.
And
We'll
couldn't. I mean, you had guys
see.
like Tyler Hansborough who couldn't make it in the NBA, who we clown.
Well, we were clowning. Wait,
who we clown.
These guys were better than you. We were clowning Tyler Hansborough when he was at North Carolina. So come on.
He was better than Edey.
No.
He was.
No.
He was.
Tyler Hansborough wasn't no player of the year candidate.
He was a Naismith player of the year.
Was he?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
He was a national player of the year.
Wait a minute.
Do I agree with it? No, but he was.
Wait a minute. Let me see. Yeah. Gee, he was a 2-time player of the year.
2-time. 2-time.
Oh man.
Yeah. Garbage.
Jeez.
It's not gonna translate in the NBA, man. Look, Wembayama, I mean,
oh my God.
I'm shocked that's
Tyler Hansborough was a 3-time All-American. Oh my God.
at North Carolina.
Oh.
In the ACC, which was a better basketball conference back then.
I'm standing by it, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Edey's gonna have a nice NBA career.
What is your definition of nice NBA career? That he survived?
He's gonna play 7 A+ seasons.
How many?
He's gonna earn a pension.
Man, that's a low bar, bro. For 7'4" motherfucker who's 2-time player of the year. I'm sorry.
He's gonna earn a pension. He's gonna put up 8 points a game.
Yeah, I'd rather watch the WNBA game than watch that dude play basketball.
We'll see. Come on, he's not that bad.
He's not that
good. National championship tomorrow night. All right, let's move on to the most important thing going on right now.
White Sox baseball.
Oh, it's definitely not White Sox baseball. Man. Oh my God, that team is a joke.
I'm take back my 71 wins. It might be more like
58. That's what I said. 58.
I'm dropping down to 61 wins.
I said 58. I'm not. There's no way they win more than 58 games this year. No way. Off of White Sox baseball. The Bears have a number one pick to worry about here. Caleb Williams made his top 30 visit to the Bears this week. They took him out to dinner, did all the, all the glad handing. I have one issue though. I feel
They
like
stopped at Estee Lauder place first to get him some new.
they got him some nail polish. They went down to the Northbrook Court Mall, got him some nail polish, got him a nice new bedazzled phone case, you know. Now then let me preface this by saying I think that Caleb Williams is the pick, and it's the pick that they should make.
Okay.
Okay. But
But
I haven't heard that they're bringing in Jaden Daniels. Haven't heard that I know for certain they went to look at him at his pro day. I know
right.
for certain they went to look at I think
Drake
JJ
May.
McCarthy, and they didn't go see Drake May
Mm.
and
Sounds
and
like
not
Ryan
and
Pace
not
all
bring
over
him in.
again.
That's what I'm worried about. That you're doing the same thing that Pace did with Trubisky, and you're falling in love without doing your due diligence and making sure that you do a real analysis and at least talk
He doing a reverse.
to to all the
He ain't going to
all of
see
the
the white
possible
guy.
candidates out there.
He
And
ain't
like I
going to
said,
see the white guy.
I didn't think about that, man.
Oh man. Hey man, what?
Oh man, that's true.
No, you said they
Wow.
saw McCarthy.
I'm saying, but of the top guys,
Of the top,
McCarthy
yeah.
is a homegrown kid. So that's kind of like, let's do our due diligence and go see the
Oh,
homegrown kid. But Drake
they
May has been in the conversation for years. You don't go see him.
you got to at least bring these guys in and talk to them. Go have dinner with them.
About 17 days left.
Well, I don't know. I just hope they don't make that same mistake, man. And
Well,
and
it's
and one of
it's
one
it,
of
At
those
least,
guys becomes the elite player
well.
of the draft.
I mean, look, at least in this case, the overwhelming majority has been Caleb.
Yeah.
that's true.
So if he ain't going to see nobody else but Caleb, and that's the pick, Caleb, he did what I said he's doing. He's following the media's ploy narrative, following that. I mean, Pace, I don't know who the hell was saying Trubisky. I mean, I know
Yeah,
he was rated. It was said,
there was
but it
some out
wasn't like
there.
it was.
But
It
nah.
It
wasn't
wasn't
as much a
as. It wasn't
consensus.
Right,
as
right.
like this with Caleb. Like Pace was just trying to be the smartest motherfucker in the room.
Right.
The
Yeah,
other,
his at least, yeah. And you know what? At least for the most part, we think that everyone that's up there in the Bears room is in on this.
mm-hmm.
Pace, John Fox didn't even know
Right.
until the pick was made that that's what they were doing. You know, that's an issue. Your head
Well,
coach doesn't know what's on your mind
right.
when you come in going to draft a player. That's crazy.
Well, a huge difference too is in talent. I mean, Trubisky was just 1 year starter, 8-5 record. You know, and that, I'm not saying your record necessarily defines you, but some of your wins were some bullshit wins against like Illinois teams, Citadel, and like Saint or John William and Mary, some school like that.
Hey,
As
that's a
opposed
conference school, man.
as
My heck, the
opposed to Caleb,
Pirates.
who played well at Oklahoma, won a Heisman Trophy. I mean, that's a big,
Yeah.
in a year with some other competitive quarterbacks, you won a Heisman Trophy, and then you put up some significant numbers, and you've been doing it for 3 years. You're not just a 1 year starter, so there's a lot more to look at from Caleb. than there was Trubisky. Now, I will say one thing I don't think people talk a lot about, and they say, he's in Lincoln Riley's system. I don't think you understand, or people understand, like, is it for 3 years? That's an advantage to Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to learn the system. You already know that mofo inside out. And in the collegiate level, to have that kind of knowledge with a system, especially today where players transfer a lot and players, leave after a year or two, and you're there or you're playing a system for 3 years, you're going to look competent. You're going to look more than competent because you know where you're going with the ball. I think I say that to say I say that to say in terms of challenging, how good is he really? Um, I I I think he'll be fine as a professional, but I think Baker Mayfield is a professional. I think Kyler Murray is a professional quarterback. I don't know that Caleb is going to be exceptional. You'd think that he should be. There are things that would indicate that he could be. I saw Lamar play, and I think you can look at his numbers. I think his numbers were better the year after he won the Heisman, and he didn't have the same complement of talent. Like his receivers left. Generally, in college, you'll see guys once their talent leaves them, there's a bit of a drop off, and that happened to Caleb. And I understand that that's par for the course. I guess what I'm saying is when you're exceptional, the drop off shouldn't be too significant.
So noticeable.
As noticeable. Now, granted, I think he went through 4 or 5 picks this year, and most of that was in the Notre Dame game.
Yeah, three against Notre Dame.
Right. So, but there are other things. There's the fumbles. There's the hero ball. There are other elements besides, your percentage of interception to touchdown ratio percentage, so on and so forth. And they're just, I, I have a hard time putting my finger on it. And maybe it's my inclination to want to have a quarterback who's 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". Granted, I think Russell Wilson was a fine pick by the Seattle Seahawks. I thought he did things exceptionally well. But then I look at Russ. He was a player of the year at North Carolina, okay? ACC player of the year. And he makes that transfer to Wisconsin, becomes instant captain, and they go to the Rose Bowl. Now that's learning a whole new team, new players, all that stuff. To me, that's exceptional. You're doing some exceptional things. And Caleb left Oklahoma, went to USC, and won a Heisman. I get that. But dude, I don't know what it is. I feel like we're putting too many of our eggs in his basket. And the same issue is the same thing I've had all along, and it's more of a philosophical one where I feel you need to have stronger structure, and I think you can win this. I shouldn't say despite or regardless your quarterback, but I don't think the emphasis needs to be on your quarterback having to be the guy in order for you to win. I think you can still win with solid, competent play, and if your quarterback is exceptional, all the well better for you and your team. But have that structure in place. You take Caleb, unless you take the number 9 pick and trade down, you're just left with 3 picks. You at 9, if Odunze is there, possibly you take him. Or if maybe Jared Verse is who they really want as an edge rusher, and he's there at 9, maybe they take that. But now you're not having another pick till 75, and then I think 122 is the pick after that.
That's it.
Where's your depth? You still need an edge rusher opposite Montez Sweat. You still need a swing tackle. You still need maybe better interior on the defensive line. You still need another receiver. You don't just, DJ's nice. Keenan Allen's great. And if you get a Dunze, okay, but he's a rookie. You still need at least one more wide receiver because Keenan Allen has not been, he's had an injury history. You need somebody that's going to stretch the field. If DJ goes down, who's stretching the field? Do you trust in Tyler Scott at this point? I know you're not trusting Velus Jones. So you really need to draft 2 receivers, to be quite honest with you. Your tight ends are nice, but you need some explosiveness. I see it being a depth issue, and it looks nice on paper right now. And they play a fourth place schedule or last place schedule. I just there's something. I look at what Houston's doing, and people are like, "Oh man, Houston just came out of nowhere. It's all C.J. Stroud." It's like, no, bro, they were building that up before he got there. That defense was pretty much in place already. And they had a left tackle already. And Nico Collins has been there for a couple of years. They had players in place already, and he's an exceptional talent. And their running game struggled, so he overcame that. I get that he's an exceptional talent. The coaching is the other thing. No one's focusing on how strong your coaching needs to be, and we're not going to know how he being Caleb takes to coaching and how long that's going to take. And if he's anything like Brett Favre, it's going to take a couple of years because, that hero ball thing is hard to get that out your DNA. I'm not, I sound like I'm negative against Caleb. I'm not. I'm just concerned that as the Bears, there's not enough depth and you're putting a lot of eggs in his basket because who's your backup? Brett Rippon? Caleb, any quarterback, any player, any time can take an injury. Caleb goes down. Like I said
Glenn,
before,
what are
you
you
can have the
talking
right
about,
quarter.
man? In Beijing, we trust.
Yeah, okay. Uh, you put too many eggs in one basket, man. It's precarious to me. I look at Cleveland last year. Cleveland survived Nick Chubb and 3 quarterbacks going down. They got Joe Flacco and it won 11 fucking games. Why? Fucking structure. It wasn't because Flacco was just a killer at that point. He did some nice things, but that defense was nice. The offensive line was solid. They could still run the ball. They still had a good tight end. That the structure was in place. They had depth. Nick Chubb goes down, and your running back still runs almost 1,000 yards. That's depth, bro. And you let Hunt go. It wasn't like Kareem Hunt was still there. That's depth. Same thing with Pittsburgh. Bad offensive coordinator. You struggle with 3 average quarterbacks at best, and you still win 10 games in the toughest division in all of football last year. Depth. I don't know, man. I don't know. And I mean, the Bears next year looks like they got about 9 picks. I think they have set up for next year, and maybe that's where Poles is going to improve the depth of next year. And maybe I'm just gnashing my teeth about this year, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm sorry, I went on this tirade or this long thing. All to your point, are you looking too much at Caleb? Are you putting too many eggs in one person's basket?
Mm-hmm.
That's tough, dude. That's tough. I'm uncomfortable about this, man. I'm uncomfortable about it, and I can't recall being this uncomfortable in quite some time, and I shouldn't be because this talent, it's a better, it's the outside of maybe a few years I can think of as a Chicago Bear fan, this is one of the more talented on paper teams I've seen in quite some time. Even with the lack of an additional wide receiver, and even with a couple of questions on the offensive line, we still don't know if the center can play. He's just another journeyman, as far as I'm concerned. I, I don't know, man. I just, I can't get out of my head that, and it's not like I'm like some Justin Fields fanboy nut. I'm just thinking like quarterback wasn't your problem. Roster, a talented roster was your biggest problem. And your second biggest problem was your offensive coordinator didn't know what to do with the talent that he had. So you got rid of one, but you still didn't really address the totality of the roster talent you need. You keep Justin, you trade down once or twice with that first pick, you're going to get enough talent. And I don't know, whatever problems Justin have, quote unquote, throwing the ball, it becomes a lot better when you got Keenan Allen, maybe Marvin Harrison, and DJ Moore to throw the ball to, not to mention all the other moves that he did. And because you did all those other moves, having additional draft picks, it doesn't hurt as much when you get DeAndre Swift. That's free agent, but when you make the trade to get some of the players they made the trades to get, Keenan Allen being one of them, it's like, and then make it make sense to me. You get rid of Justin, and I understand, like you said, Smoke. Some of it was, because what the media is saying, you need to do this. You know, you needed to get the rookie contract, all that stuff, fiscal reasons. It really hurt to get rid of Justin, blah, 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 blah. And then it turns into you can't trade him. Nobody wants him. To he goes to Pittsburgh. He's backing up Russ. And all of a sudden now Russ is going to be benched by week 4 or 6. And it's going to be Justin's team. And can you imagine Justin? Oh, they're going to be killing. So now he's a killer. And now I'm starting to hear the words playmaker. Justin is a playmaker. I'm hitting all these words by the pundits. He's a playmaker. He makes plays. Make it make sense. So if he's doing all these things, why was this overwhelming need to get rid of him? Because you're going to have to pay him? You could have gotten, I'm sure, decent deals. You could have figured out if the Giants can figure out a way to pay Daniel Jones, I'm pretty sure the Bears can figure out a way to pay Justin along with a whole bunch of other guys they don't have to pay because they're drafting a whole bunch of rookies and their contracts are going to be minimal. Plus with the cap going up, I just to me that seemed to you could fortify yourself and deal with the rigors of the NFL a little bit better, and then you can get a better free agent quarterback to back up Justin. So you're in a win now situation, and you know Caleb does something he does somewhere that's fine. That doesn't mean you can't do what you do. I don't know. I'm uncomfortable, bro. I'm really uncomfortable with it's so everything needs to be right. Everyone's health needs to. All the right people can't get hurt. Montez gets hurt, the defense may not look like it did because we don't. Where are we generating the pressure from? That the secondary looks great once the pressure's been generated. If the pressure's not generated, secondary doesn't look quite as good. The linebackers aren't making the tackles as efficiently. Montez seriously changed that. Tevin goes down. That interior and that journeyman center is just average. And not Billings, but Nate Davis, maybe he is more what we saw last year than not. I mean, we still don't know. That interior, Caleb ain't Justin. He ain't throwing off a lot of people like Justin did. He ain't running for the big yards Justin. Now, maybe he may be able to throw the ball downfield, and that's nice. But we also saw when he's been really harried, we saw what Notre Dame looked like. And you got a lot more pros that are better and faster than Notre Dame players. DJ goes down. Keenan Allen ain't stretching the field. It's easy to double team him in the middle of the field. It's easier to swing your coverage his way because nobody else is threatening you. You're not scared of a Comet. Yeah. Now your running backs, okay. You start throwing to the running backs then. Swift, injury history. Keenan Allen, injury history. I mean a negative Nancy, man, but it's like
you're spot on. You're spot on.
I question the depth issues here, man. And again, I'm sorry, I'll say the last thing here. And I go back to what you're saying. Did you look at Jayden Daniels? Did you really look at Jayden Daniels? Because you want someone to play in structure. He came from a more pro-ready system than what Caleb is. I mean, we've seen those guys who've played Lincoln Riley system play in the pros, and they've had moments, but they haven't had sustainable seasons. And Baker's had a lot of talent around him. Don't kid yourselves. That Cleveland team he had around him was pretty talented before he got let go. And the Tampa Bay team had some talented receivers. He looks like a solid NFL quarterback. And that was a number one pick, Heisman Trophy winner, and he looks like a solid quarterback, and that's okay. He was the number one pick. Kyler was more athletic than both of these guys. He's more athletic than Caleb. He's more athletic than Baker Mayfield. He's shorter too, but he can throw a really nice deep ball. He's got a hell of an arm. He's a hell of a fucking athlete. He's about the guy who was a top 10 pick in the NFL and a top 10 pick if he played baseball. Hell of an athlete. 2 playoff appearances, maybe. They didn't know if they wanted to renew his contract. They kind of did, and they're like, They're not pumped. No one's saying, hey, Kyler Murray is a top 10 quarterback. Does Caleb look like he's going to be way better than those guys? I don't know. Baker was tearing it up at Oklahoma. Kyler was tearing it up at Oklahoma. What does that mean in the pros? He's got a nice arm. No one's saying he doesn't. He does nice things. I don't know, man. I just
When's your next
sorry.
mock draft?
The next one will be coming out this week. And then I may hold back 17 days, so it'll be this week. And I may not have one. I'll probably have like a next week. I won't have one. Then I'll have one going into the
Going
final
into the final week.
week of the draft. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. Can't wait. That's gonna
I
do it
just
for this week's edition. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just pissing everybody's Cheerios. Who's a
No,
Bears fan?
no,
I'm
no,
just
no, no, no. Like I said, I called when I think it was Dan Wiederer that came out with the article about the Bears and
Pace what he
their
did.
strategy with Mitchell Trubisky and not visiting with Deshaun Watson, and how they made their pick between Trubisky and Mahomes, basically, and they made their own pick. Information's coming out about Ryan Poles, and what they're doing with Caleb Williams. You got to call them on it. That's parallel situations I'm seeing with both of them right now. I don't know if I really like that. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. Absolutely.
You see Jaden Daniels? You see how fucking fast he is? Did you see what he did to Florida? The dude threw for 300 and ran for 200. And he didn't
Man,
even look like he broke a sweat.
I told y'all, Foles is doing what the media is telling him to do.
That's not always the right thing to do. And I'm
It's
not
never
I'm not
the,
hey, I'm not
never the
saying
right
we
thing
we
to
need to,
do.
we need to be going after Jaden Daniels. I'm not saying he's the guy. I'm just saying do your due diligence. That's all.
Yeah, I said before, it just does not seem like this decision is solely his decision.
I think it
Yes,
is. I think it's solely his decision, and I think it's based on his time at Kansas City. I think he looks at Caleb, and not too many times has he made, not necessarily saying he's Mahomes, but making the Kansas City comparison as to how to look and observe and what to look for in a quarterback. And these are elements that you want. And I think a lot of this stuff is reminiscent of his that time. And now he's the person making the decision, not watching someone else make that decision. And granted, Kansas City had what's the quarterback? Was it Smith? Was this
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith,
had Alex Smith, and even Jason Kelsey was like really upset they let Alex Smith go, and now Jason Kelsey can't be any happier. So
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelsey, I'm sorry. So maybe this will play out like that, and we'll all be a lot happier. And I'll be like, well, I'm glad it worked out, you know. But I listen to what NFL players, current NFL players who are playing against and who have played against Justin say, and how they're like, he's a problem. He does stuff that humans just shouldn't do. And it's hard for me to come off of 6'3", 230, 4'4" flat, 4'3", 8 when he doesn't stumble, with an arm that can drive the ball deep, has deep ball accuracy. It's like, why did you not scheme an offense to accentuate what he does? Are you going to have Peyton Manning and Tom Brady run RPOs? No, that would be criminal. You have an offense that accentuates what they can do. I'm not saying that Justin has to run RPOs. I'm saying get him in a situation where he can play action and throw the ball deep. Get him in a situation where you can have a moving pocket. You got athletic linemen, move out the pocket, move the pocket, have a moving pocket so you can throw the ball. I mean, do different things. Same thing with Dan Marino. I mean, you do things to accentuate what he can do. He can throw the ball deep. You don't start having Dan Marino throw underneath routes all the time. You're not utilizing what he does best. Same thing with Josh Allen. I'm not saying every pass has to be 30, 40 yards, but you can do some deep, crossing digs. You can do some nice outs. There are passes Justin makes where I'm like, dude, that's a special pass. And then you don't see it anymore. It's like they go away from it.
Well,
And it's like it doesn't make sense. But watch, wherever he's at, whether he stays at Pittsburgh or ends up going somewhere else, if there's somebody there that's not a knucklehead as a coordinator, and this is where I thought keeping Waldron would have made sense to keep Justin, because Waldron helped Geno Smith. Geno does some nice things passing the ball, but you're not asking Geno to run RPOs. You're not asking Geno to do. You're asking Geno to do the things that he can do. Why is it like he can't? Justin can't. You kept hearing so much about what he can't do. It's like, well, why don't you do the things that he does? Because apparently he did something to be a top 20 pick. He did something to be the Big Ten champion back-to-back years. He did something to carve up fucking Clemson. Oh, he's just throwing Olave and Garrett. Okay, so get him a weapon.
Justin did something to somebody very powerful that we don't know. For real. He got picked apart in the draft process. His whole entire time in Chicago was critiqued like none other.
Yeah, they mess his footwork up.
He's done something to some people that we don't know about.
And on top of that, like he said, he's built for it. I know he had some injury issues. He's never been gone for a whole season, but that dude took hits and came back that most people would have been out of the game. He came back for more. And that Cleveland, I don't know about that Cleveland debacle. That was just criminal. It's just I don't.
GM, don't get it. Don't have a brain
don't have an aneurysm.
Justin Fields is gone. Look, I don't even pay attention to it no more. He's gone. It is what it is. Don't
get that.
Don't lose yourself over it. It is what it is. We gonna see how it all play out. I just say this to end it. If this Caleb Williams thing don't work, I don't think nothing will.
Well, you're not gonna get a better chance than of finding somebody with this pick. I mean, we went my entire life without ever seeing a number one pick. Yeah.
Now we've had two back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Technically.
It never happened, right? Before.
Well, it never happened. I'm just saying we had the first pick and we traded.
I understand. I'm saying it never up until last year, we had never had the number one pick.
Yeah, not my lifetime. Yeah. I'm a little older than you guys.
And the sad part about this instance, if it don't work with Caleb Williams, and I know Ryan Clark already tried to put this caveat out there to protect Caleb Williams. If it don't work out, it's their fault. No quarterback has come into Chicago with what Caleb Williams will be coming into Chicago with. So if it does not work, it is solely on the fact that Caleb Williams is not as good as everybody thought. I don't care what no one says. We could say the coaching, we could say this, we could say that. He is coming into the most talented Bears roster that any rookie quarterback has come into.
It might be most talented NFL roster.
NFL roster, yeah.
To shoot the Bears.
You think
NFL, I can't. I mean, Peyton comes a little close.
So if he fails, this could be the worst shit this organization has ever encountered. Ever.
No pressure.
Let's end it there. This has wait, how do I close this show out now? Man, you messed me up, Smoke. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. We want to thank everyone for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Man, this is a downer. My God.
I'm sorry.
We want to where did I leave off? Oh, you can catch our podcast on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. I'm really down. My God. Oh, did I tell you, man? I bought a Justin Fields Bears jersey, another one. Regular price $175. Guess how much it was?
$35.
Very good. 36 with tax. You can also catch our podcast at hp53productions.com. There you'll find a link to our podcast and the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs and yours truly. Yo, Glenn.
Yep.
Please take us out.
It's like we always say, sorry for pissing in your Cheerios. Join us next week.
Good luck, Coach Smoke and Simeon next week, man. Even against my Kenwood Broncos, man.
Appreciate that.
I'm with you. We'll catch you next week.